Hello friends, I am Ayantika and in this video I will be discussing about the general characteristic of fungi. It will be the first video in the series fungi and earlier I have made videos about slime molds which were earlier considered as in the group fungi. So I have also put the link in the description box for those videos of slime molds and fungi or fungus, it is derived from the Latin word fungor, which means to flourish. This is used in reference to mostly the mushrooms which develop overnight. As this mushroom, they have a very high growth rate. So any chlorophyllous organism that has a high growth rate were included in fungi. So earlier scientists included both slime molds and bacteria and mushroom in the same group as that of fungi. But now only those organisms like yeast, molds, toadstool, mushroom, polypores, puffballs, and disease producing rust and smuts, they are included in fungi. And the slime molds that were earlier considered inside the fungi taxon is now placed in protist, and bacteria is also removed from the fungi taxon. So now whatever general characteristic we will be studying is of true fungi. So the study of fungi is called mycology, and those who study it are called mycologists. Alexopoulos and Bisse, they are the founding mycologists in the study of fungi. So let's start the video. Overview of fungi. Now fungi are thallophytes, and which means that they have a body, multicellular body, which it is not differentiated into tissue-like organization or organ-like organization. So apart from fungi, algae and bryophytes are also thalloid in their structure, and so they are included under thallophytes. So fungi, algae and bryophyte together, they are included under thallophytes. The thallus may be uni or multicellular. When it is unicellular, it may appear roughly circular, or it is plasmodial in nature. And if it is multicellular, then it is filamentous. So this fungi, when it is filamentous, it can be septate. These are the septations. Here we see these are the septations, which are nothing but the cross walls in the filament. So this is the septation where cross wall is present, and if there is no cross wall, then it is called non-septate. So cross wall have the similar composition as that of the tubular wall, and the tubular wall in fungi, it is characteristic that chitin is the main cell wall material in most of the fungi. So and few fungi, for example in the oomycetes, only cellulose is present. So cellulose is found in very rare number of fungi, that is mostly the oomycetes, but the dominant cell wall material is chitin and beta glucan. So the composition of cell wall is mostly chitin. Few fungi contain cellulose and few contain beta glucan in addition to chitin in their cell wall. So this chitin cell wall is characteristic of this fungi. So is the thalloid structure. So the nuclear status is that it is eukaryotic. If it is unicellular, then it can be uninucleate or binucleate or multinucleate, and if it is filamentous, it will be multinucleate. And one important characteristic is that Fungi is a chlorophyllous, which means that it does not have chlorophyll in their body. Chlorophyll are the photosynthetic pigments, and due to this presence of chlorophyll, plants are able to produce their food by photosynthesis. So as fungi is a chlorophyllous, its mode of nutrition is heterotrophic, which means that it is not able to produce its food by photosynthesis. It is dependent upon other for its food. It usually it is saprotrophic, that is it degrades or break down the dead organic matter, or it is parasitic, that is it absorbs food matter from the host plant or suscept plant or animal. So due to its achlorophyllous nature, fungi is heterotropic in its nutrition. And in reproduction, it has asexual and sexual reproduction. So, and habitat is also ubiquitous, that is it is present in everywhere. Mostly they are found in cool, wet and very dark places, or place with very diffused sunlight, not direct sunlight. So they are present in terrestrial as well as aquatic. In terrestrial species, they are found in the soil that has abundance of dead organic matter, because we know that fungi, they are heterotrophic in their mode of nutrition. So they they are present in soil which are abundant in dead organic matter, so that they can decay this carbohydrate and protein that is present in the organic matter, and they can absorb the simplified nutrient from the dissolved organic matter. So this most of the terrestrial fungi, they are much more advanced form than the aquatic fungi, because of one reason. The terrestrial fungi, they have non-motile reproductive cells, and the aquatic species, they have motile reproductive cells. The zoospore of the aquatic species have motile zoospore, they have motile gametes. So whatever the sexual or asexual spores are in the aquatic species, they are motile, that is they have flagella. And terrestrial species, they have non-motile reproductive spore. That is why it is considered that the terrestrial are more advanced than the aquatic fungi. So that is its habitat, and in distribution it is cosmopolitan. That is, we can find fungi even in the polar region and even in the equatorial region. We can find it on here. The spores of the fungi are found in here. They prefer living in moist terrestrial habitat or aquatic habitat. So about the habits or mode of life, it is heterotrophic, that is it does not produces its own food. Heterotrophs are those organisms that rely on food on others. Just like we human, we are heterotrophic, that is we do not photosynthesize, and we depend upon either plants or animals for our source of nutrition. So this is the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, where the organism is dependent on other organisms for their mode of nutrition. So mode of nutrition is saprophytic and parasitic. So the saprophytes or saprobes, they are organisms that decay, that break down the dead organic matter in the soil, in the humus, and convert this organic matter into simplified form that can be easily absorbed in true solution. So the cell wall, not the cell wall, the cell wall as well as the cell plasma membrane of fungi are selectively permeable. That is, they are permeable to water as well as any other dissolved nutrient in true, that is dissolved in true solution, that can be absorbed by the fungal plasma membrane. So also, it is parasitic in its nutritional mode. Parasites are those organisms that feed on living organisms, both plants as well as animal, and they are considered parasite only when they not only derive their nutrition, but they also either they damage the organism. This damage can be a balanced damage or very high damage. So depending upon where the parasite is present on the body of the organism, plant or animal, they are endo and ectoparasite. That is those fungi that is present on the surface. Say for example, on the surface of the leaf or plant surface, then it is the ectoparasite. But when it is present on the inside, it is the endoparasite. Ectoparasites are generally mostly those fungi that they are present on the surface and they grow in the they remain their growth is fixed on the epidermis of the plant only. But endoparasite, they reach deeper layers of soil of the host. So this is the two mode of nutrition. And about the mode of nutrition, they are also there. We are going to discuss parasitic mode as well as saprophytic. The obligate parasites are those fungi that are dependent upon their entire life cycle as parasite. They derive their life in being a parasite. They are always parasite. They never turn to saprophytic mode if there is absence of host or suscept species. Then these species which are obligate parasite, they perinate as resting spores for a long period of time, and only when the particular host plant or suscept plant is present, then only they start to reproduce or by germination. They germinate and reproduce. This is obligate. Parasites are mostly the Pyronospora and Erysipeae that causes, Pyronospora causes downy mildew and powdery mildew caused by Erysipeae. This is the example. This is how downy mildew looks, and this is how the powdery mildew looks. So these are obligate parasite. Entire life cycle it is parasitic, and in absence of the host, it stays as perinating structure, sclerotium, or as resting spores. So in the facultative saprophytes, they are parasitic in nature, but in absence of the host plant, they can live as saprophyte. They can their main mode of life cycle is that of a parasite. But in absence of parasite host plant, they live as saprophyte. Here we see that Taphrina deformans. This causes leaf curl, and the Phytophthora, which causes potato blight. So these are two facultative saprophyte. That is, they turn saprophytic when there is the absence of the host plant. Then there is a facultative parasite, which is saprophytic in general, but when there is not enough dead organic matter, or if there is a very susceptible host plant, then only they turn parasitic. The Fusarium and Botrytis. Here we see this is botrytis, which is causes a very moldy growth in that of the grapes. So these are facultative parasite. That is, they turn parasite only when suitable host is present. Otherwise, dominantly they are saprophytes. So, and obligate saprophyte, that is, they are saprophytic, they do not form parasitic stage at any part of their life. They are the mucor and penicillium. Here we see this is the mucor and this is the penicillium that is growing on the stale bread. So these are always saprophytic, that is, they derive their nutrition by dissolving dead organic matter or any organic matter, and they never parasitize or cause disease to living plant. So again, the parasite can be a balanced parasite which causes limited harm, and destructive parasite that causes considerable crop loss. Habitat and mode. Earlier slide we have discussed about the saprophytic and the parasitic. Here we will be discussing about the symbiotic mode of life in the life cycle of fungi, where we see that lichen and mycorrhiza. Now lichen is a symbiotic association between a fungi and an algae. I have made videos regarding the various topics of lichen, and I have put the links in the description box, so you can easily go and watch those videos about lichen. So here I will not be discussing about lichen in detail, but it is a symbiosis between that of the fungi and algae. So symbiosis is a type of ecological interaction in which both the parties they get mutually benefited. So in symbiosis, in the fungal as well as the algal partner are getting mutually benefited. Here we see this type of interaction is that of in lichen, where the upper cortex or the lower cortex or the here all these upper cortex and lower cortex are formed by that of the fungi, and the green cells that you see here and also here, these are the algal layer. So algal layer prepares food, and fungal layer it provides protection against mechanical physical protection, and as well as it prevents desiccation of the algae. So here they are mutually benefited, both fungi and algal partner in that of lichen. And in mycorrhiza, here we see these are the lichens that are found, and this is the example of mycorrhiza. So this is mycorrhiza that is found in the roots. It is actually the fungi they cover the roots in especially areas that is very cold area. The number of root here is also very less. So what the fungi does is that it improves the absorption area, it increases the absorption area of the root, and it absorbs the minerals in solution form and provides it to the root of the plant, and in return it gets food, it is benefited by food. So mycorrhiza is association between fungi and angiospermic plant. So the mycorrhiza can be ectotrophic as well as that of endotrophic. As the name suggests, ectotrophic, which means that it is present outside. Here we see this is the ectotrophic mycorrhiza, where we see that the fungal hypha is present on as a layer outside the outside the root. In the rhizosphere, the hypha is present, and they are present. Here we see. Here we easily see they form a thick layer on the layer just outside and outside the root, and sometimes they grow through the epidermis into the upper layer of the cortex. So here we see that this is the epidermal layer, this layer is the epidermal layer, and this is the cortex layer. So this ectotrophic mycorrhiza that is present in the pine, birch and willow, the pine, birch and willow, they have this ectotrophic mycorrhiza, that is they are present in the upper on the surface of the root and the upper few layers, that is epidermis, and upper few layers of the cortex. These are ectotrophic mycorrhiza. And the endotrophic mycorrhiza, that is it is present as a thin layer of over the surface, but it enters deeper in the cortex. So the ectotrophic mycorrhiza, it forms intercellular, that is if there is a cell, if there is a cell, then the hypha will grow in between the cell, that is intercellular. And the endotrophic mycorrhiza, that is mostly present in the orchids and hemp, here we see that they enters and moves and grows inside the cell. So they penetrate the cells. So these are endotrophic. And certain other fungal growth can also be seen, where a mixture of these two are found, especially in the. And the nutrition, we discussed earlier that it has a saprotrophic as well as a parasitic nutrition. And if it is a saprotrophic, so it can obtain the carbohydrate as well as the protein. It can obtain from the decaying organic matter. And the organic nutrients are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen that is required, and among the essential element, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, potassium, manganese, magnesium, copper, cobalt, iron, zinc and calcium are essential for the growth of fungi. And mechanism of nutrition, they form as a saprophyte, they grow over the surface, but if it's a parasite, they can be intracellular as well as intra. When inter, it grows between the cells. Here we see that this is the intercellular fungi, and it grows in between the cell. And this is the intracellular. Here we see that the mycelium, it grows inside the cell, and here the growth is outside the cell. It sends out just haustoria. Haustoria is sent just to get the nutrition. So this is the two type of hypha, symbiosis, and lichen and mycorrhiza I have already discussed. And this is the classification. The fungi, lower fungi, they are called the phycomycetes, and these are the few species that are important. And the ascomycetes, so the sac fungi, and the basidomycetes, so the club fungi, and deuteromycetes, the fungi imperfecti. They are called fungi imperfecti because they do not have the well-defined sexual stage. And I will be discussing few of the fungi that is in each of the category, and that is in the syllabus of various universities. And with this, I come to the end of this video. This was a general characteristic of fungi, but about the reproductive strategy and the vegetative structure, I have made separate videos. Actually, I thought of initially including all those in a single video, but then it was becoming very lengthy. So about the general characteristic, how the thallus structure looks, and about the reproduction, I have made separate videos, and I have put the link in the description box of those videos. And also I have made videos regarding slime molds, which was earlier included in fungi, and I have put the link in the description box about those videos also about slime mold as well as lichens. So do comment on this video, and also comment on any video you want me to make. And If you like this video, do share it with your friends and do subscribe my channel, because your subscription will encourage me, and without your subscription I won't be able to go much further. So thank you for watching this video.